Imagine being 300 miles from any land, 300 miles from your normal worries, 300 miles from the hustle and bustle of your daily life. Now imagine your child getting sick 300 miles from land, and the doctor doesn't know what's wrong with her. That's exactly what happened to the ship's captain on the Song of America.
She said, "Daddy, Daddy, my head hurts so bad, and I think I'm seasick." And I took her into my cabin and I called the doctor. The doctor looked at her and he wasn't sure. He said, "No, I don't think this is seasickness." However, he gave her the shot and I took her with me upstairs again and put her in bed. And I left her because I had to go up on the bridge, and when I come back she had throwing up all over the place and stuff.
Over the next day and a half, the 14-year-old's condition continues to worsen. The ship's doctor can't figure out what's wrong, but he knows that whatever it is, it's serious. The Coast Guard is called for help.
We got a call that the Song of America cruise ship was about 300 miles east of Norfolk, and the captain's daughter was very ill. She was fading in and out of consciousness. They thought maybe it was meningitis.
She was in and out of consciousness, and we had to strap her down because even if she could have moved, to put her in a basket in her condition, possibility of her trying to get out of it would have been pretty high, so we didn't want to take that chance.
Cruise ships make an excellent hoisting platform for us. It was very stable. There was plenty of good visual cues to use to maintain a steady hover. It was broad daylight. The seas were fairly calm, and there's a shuffleboard fort right below us that we're using to maintain a steady position.
The captain's daughter was hoisted into the helo, along with a nurse from the ship. Once the medical corpsman is back on board, the Coast Guard helicopter heads for Norfolk General Hospital in Virginia.
I could hear her screaming over the noise inside the helicopter with earphones and my helmet on. She was in a great deal of pain.
She had no idea, I believe, where she was.
Anytime you're that far offshore, flying back at 150 knots, that's a 2-hour flight from 300 miles away. There's only so much that you can do, and there's nowhere else to go except across all that water to the hospital.
That was quite a long flight. It seemed like forever.
Christina was wheeled into the hospital, and the Coast Guard crew made their way back to Elizabeth City, North Carolina.
Corpsman and I called up to find out how she was doing, and they said that she had a brain aneurysm. I was pretty set back at that. I had an experience in high school during a football practice. I was just talking to my buddy. All of a sudden, he passed out, went flat on the floor, and find out what happened was he had a brain aneurysm and he died immediately. Nothing we could do about it. It just happened.
They have taken her into the hospital and they have checked her with an MRI, and that shows that she had an aneurysm in her head, which was tremendous bleeding. She was unconscious then, and in fact she was unconscious for 9 days.
Christina was flown to Florida for the very delicate brain surgery that was required to save her life. Captain Jonzo was told that Christina had a high chance of not surviving the 6-hour operation.
She came out right into the recovery room and he checked her out. She was only half an hour, I think, she was laying there, and she'd start coming back.
I think that God was watching over me, and that if it wasn't for him or the Coast Guard people or the excellent doctors that I had, I don't think I'd be here right now.
She was lifted off the ship until she was back home in Chicago, that was about 7.5 weeks. And I, in fact, was with her every day. I never left. I never left the hospital because I said, Christina, I'm going to take you home with me.